Good morning once again. Welcome back to the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with me, Coach 23, and this beautiful Friday morning. Uh yeah, welcome back. So episode 6, don't get sick, like I said. Titles are irrelevant. Sorry about not really shouldn't apologize. I just decided to do the show an hour, at least an hour early. Let's unpack. I'm still in the men or fence, so if I'm going to do our laundry today, since sun has come out, I don't think it's going to rain. Hopefully not, but yeah, I don't know. It's undecided. I'm still undecided. If either I'll do my laundry today or on Sunday. Uh, but yeah, welcome back. So we have a loaded show again. As per usual, if you're tuned in with with our show, with my podcast slash vlog, whatever, uh, we're always doing like 3 topics per day, and so we have a lot of things to unpack again. And yeah, so as I said yesterday, our topic for today, our first topic or main topic for today. Well, usually the first topic is the main topic, but who's counting? So our first topic is my review, my personal review of the Mr. McMahon documentary that happened or that's being shown in Netflix. Uh, that actually, or can stream it in Netflix right now. Uh, like I said, spoiler alert, it's already been 1 week. So if somebody's calling or crying for spoilers, come on. It's been 1 week. Statute of limitation for a spoiler is actually can be done that. I mean, you can see results even of like a movie or the plot of a movie in Wikipedia or Reddit or for whatever whichever site. So for this one, it's been 1 week, so it's all good. So Mr. McMahon documentary is actually being produced by the same people who produced Tiger King. I haven't seen Tiger King yet. I don't know if I want to. I don't know who that is. I like documentaries though, but more on the wrestling side or maybe the movies type of documentaries or in the movie, a documentary about a movie or all those things, but not really of other people. Um, so yeah, Mr. McMahon the Mr. McMahon documentary was streamed or started streaming last week, Thursday, I believe, with a 6 episode season. I don't know if there'll be a second season, but business wise, congratulations to the producers of this documentary because I believe it's the fourth in terms of viewership last week. 4.9 million, you know, viewing or viewers for the documentary itself. Um, so that's a big business. That's a great business for those producers. Um, it told the story of one Vince McMahon Jr., Vincent Kennedy McMahon Jr. Once upon a time, the patriarch for World Wrestling Federation or slash World Wrestling Entertainment. Um, and he is either one of the most polarizing, controversial is really the word that you can use towards them. Um, but how he really is, because documentaries can be perceived as facts. Uh, if how you can see what facts are or what factual basis are or is, and is everything in the documentary as true as it can be or not, or just for the sake of, it's like reality TV. If you're like watching PBB or Pinoy Big Brother, in the US like Survivor, um Big Brother as well, Amazing Race, all those reality, supposedly even the Kardashian reality shows. Is it really a reality, or is it really reality, or it's just I said, like I said, for show? Because even the our second topic to be connected for what I'm going to say is that even the influencers, content creations, vlogs, if it's not like this as like a podcast type of thing, uh, if they're like just doing content for the sake of like acting in front of a camera or whatnot, is it really real or not? Is it just for content, or for the sake of cloud chasing? I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows except for the people who are involved there. So for us viewers, listeners, watchers, it's just like a sense of disbelief if it's everything is real or not. We can perceive it as real, we can perceive it as not. It's like that. The Avengers or Captain America Civil War is not really the Civil War that happened in the US. No, it's not. It's a comic book movie. So we don't know knows, right? But there are some people who are like really so invested in some of those programming or movies that they are like, it's real. Everything is real. Everything that they say or they do is real. So who knows, right? So yeah, my kid is trying to reach for my laptop. Can we move a little bit? Go watch your laptop. Go watch Bluey. Bluey. So yeah, sorry. My audience is, trying to mess me up. Um so yeah, Mr. McMahon documentary. So in 6 episodes, as I said. First episode was titled Junior. So this is the story of Vince McMahon's upbringing at the time. So they already even like made like a disclaimer that it was supposed to be a longer documentary, but they have to cut it short because due to the Vince McMahon allegation uh, that's actually being brought up right now. So it's like they're finished, but they're not really that finished, in my opinion, in how I understand the movie or how I understood the movie or the documentary. So first episode is titled Junior. It's all about Vince's upbringing. Um, so he discussed that he grew up in a trailer park with his mother and his stepdad. And he had a rough childhood, got beaten up by his folks, stepdad, his mom, and he hasn't or he only met his father, his biological father, Vince McMahon Senior, uh, when he was 12. That's when he found out that he is a McMahon. Um, so Vince McMahon Senior is the president or owner of Capital Wrestling, and who is actually which is the parent company of Worldwide Wrestling Federation, precursor to WWF or WWE. And so Vince McMahon Sr. is a promoter, a wrestling promoter. Then I believe he was able to take Vince Jr. Uh, to his life, taught him the ropes. I believe even in magazines that I'm sorry, I read and rode past tense. Woof, whoop. Read that Vince McMahon or senior even like enrolled Vince Jr. to like military school, and Vince, left. Said it's not for him. He wanted to learn the wrestling business of how to promote it. I mean, I believe one of Vince McMahon's a few of Vince McMahon's heroes like were like superstar Billy Graham, uh, Stevens. I'm sorry, forgot his name. Ray Stevens, I believe, or yeah, a couple of old wrestlers. That's why he got attention, and he worked for his father, Vince Senior, uh, doing business. He attended meetings between Vince and the other wrestling promoters, um, until one day that, according to Vince Jr.'s story, was that there was like this uh, announcer who were supposed to be in a show, but it's demanding a lot of money or upfront payment, and Vince Senior didn't want to, and he ordered Vince to tell that announcer, no, We won't be doing that. So, and he ordered Vince or picked Vince to do the announcing, for that show, and the rest is history. So Vince McMahon Jr., so Vinny Jr., Vinny Mac, he worked on for his father, became a promoter for a specific town. I believe it's Allentown, Pennsylvania, or one of the Pennsylvania towns. And he let Vince Jr. work on that promotion, and Vince made it big there. But the thing is, in inner Vince turmoil, it's not just that he wanted, to do business with his dad. It's really just working along with his father. So it's a typical story of, one son is asking for the love of his father, which is, happen. Is that which actually can happen to all of us or to any one of us. And they had the tumultuous story until the time that Vince's Jr. really wanted to work to make wrestling bigger or to have it on like his own because he believes that wrestling cannot be just territorial or can be just like in one specific region and do that. It could be national. It could be like everyone from New York can watch it in LA at the same time or a specific time. So he asked Vince. He can see it's dwindling. So what I believe Vince Jr. did, if what my understanding is correct, is that he told his dad that he's going to pay or he's going to buy Capital Wrestling and WWF to make it WWF, and he'll be paying. He's going to pay for his dad. It's funny because what for my understanding as well is that he's still paying for WWF, but his dad is working for him, so he's like the head now. Until it was finalized that he's going to buy WWF. A lot of stories that circled around during episode one. This was Hulk Hogan used to work for Vince Senior as a heel. I believe with Classy Freddie Blassie as his manager, and he was like handcuffed to just be a wrestler, a performer, a wrestler, because I believe Hulk Hogan either auditioned or someone from Rocky or Sylvester Stallone saw him, and he wanted a wrestler for Rocky 3. And Hulk Hogan asked Vince Senior if he can work Rocky, and Vince Senior's answer is no, you can't because you are a wrestler, you're not an actor. And Hulk Hogan, of course, if you Hulk Hogan has the mentality of a businessman. If you really want to grow or want to be big in a certain business aspect of business, you will do everything in your power to do something like that. It's an age old or old age story, like Dwayne Johnson's bigger now because of Hollywood. John Cena is doing Hollywood as well. So it's Hulk Hogan's way of I can help wrestling big. I can help because if someone saw me on Rocky, which will be seen by a lot of people, they can see wrestling as well. They can see me at WWF. But of course, the old school tradition of you're just a wrestler happened. It went on the way, and Vince Senior vehemently fired Hulk Hogan and told him that he will never ever work again for WWF. Afterwards, after Hulk Hogan filmed Rocky 3, he went on to Vern Gagne's AWA, and that's where and when he became bigger, almost as big as Hulkamania in WWF. So when Vince bought WWF from his dad was basically working for him until Vince Jr. decided to bring Hulk Hogan back, and Hulk Hogan went back. Uh, he went his first match back is on my first birthday, January 23, 1984. Oh my god, I just told you my birthday. So yeah, against the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden. And I believe that was actually almost the time that Vince Senior saw what Vince Junior is, seeing with the future of pro wrestling. And that's one of the time, if not the few times, that Vince Senior told his son Vince Jr. that he's proud of him and that he loves him, and that's big for Vince Jr. And we're like, I've worked for you for like, 20 years now, or 30, 10 years, more than 10 years or what now. And this is the first time that he was acknowledged of that feeling until before or afterwards, not short after, Vince Sr. passed away due to cancer, I believe. Um, but yeah, Vince Jr. did a lot of things in pro wrestling. He destroyed, really killed. I mean, he told, well, if you were the perspective of the promoters or wrestling promoters, he killed the territory business. He he didn't really care if his show runs against, like, let's say, an NWA in South Carolina. He'll bring WWF there for an opposite show and let the fans decide. That's his perception. Let the fans decide what do they want to watch. So he, in a weird way, brought the competition to all those territories, and he did, like I said, he destroyed the territory business and sign most of the stars of those territories. Those territories that, let's say a Roddy Piper in the Carolinas, a promoter couldn't pay, Roddy Piper. So what will Vince do as a promoter? Yeah, work for me, I'll pay you. So that's what he did. Uh, did he really kill the territory business? I don't know. Uh, yeah, in a way, yeah. But the thing, didn't he help wrestling more? Didn't he help to give alternative to? He became the first alternative, despite being a bit the bigger promotion or the biggest promotion back then. I am holding a brush, but yeah, he did bring. Brought the alternative to other wrestling promotions. NWA is actually older than WWF or WWE, and he brought competition to them, to their territories. So he did help the wrestling business. He didn't really help the wrestling business. So it's the matter of perspective of your understanding. Did he help or not, right? So yeah. uh during the first episode, he worked with MTV. uh the battle, or I would believe the war to settle the score between Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper was, shown in MTV. That's the start of the rock and wrestling era, or golden era for WWF. And Hogan worked with Cindy Lauper, with Captain Lou Albino, yeah, Albano. Sorry, Albano. Albino is white person. Albano, and yeah, rock and wrestling was started then. Afterwards, not long after WrestleMania one at Madison Square Garden was produced, which in the story, this is I found out as well, that because in the books, in documentaries, in wrestling history books, Wikipedia even, they didn't really say that Vince put his all of his money, all of his resources to WrestleMania one. And one of his favorite saying at the time was, "We're going all in. If it works, it works. If it's not, then we're screwed." And WrestleMania one was successful, obviously to say. It was main evented by Hulk Hogan teaming up with Mr. T against the team of Rowdy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and the Hogan team won. And of course, the success became, of WrestleMania 1 is, you know, still well known. WrestleMania right now is one of the top 10, top 5, or top 10, top 5 sports and entertainment programming or franchises in the world today, with the Super Bowl, NBA All Star Finals, Major League Baseball, all of those stuff. Grand Prix, WrestleMania is part of those group. Imagine that. That's how he made wrestling bigger, uh, and much much well known to the public. Second episode was Heat. So a lot to unpack with Heat is that his rivalry with Jesse the Body Ventura. Hulk Hogan also has a minor rivalry with Jesse Ventura. Um, a lot of things happened during the episode as well. Saturday night's main event was actually premiered on network television for NBC, and I believe they shattered all viewership at the time. I believe I believe it's more than like 80 million or almost 80 million who saw the viewers saw. I believe Hulk Hogan also there was there, and a lot of things happened. This is Vince McMahon's, in a weird way, genius in terms of the wrestling business. How to make WrestleMania 2 better than WrestleMania 1. Simple. Let's put it in three cities. So the LA, New York, and Chicago. I didn't know. I have no idea how they produce it. Maybe perhaps Vince choose a lot of producers to work LA, to work Chicago, to work New York. I believe it was main evented by Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy for the WWF Championship inside the old school blue steel cage. Jesse Ventura, as I said, had a weird relationship with Hulk Hogan. And this was the time that Jesse Ventura worked for Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He saw how union works, and he said that maybe we can bring the union concept to pro wrestling. And if you're a businessman, you hate union because with union, it's okay. You're giving power or responsibility or accountabilities with you're the employees, but if they go on strike, your business will shut down. And those are the things that Vince, and that's why the word uh, that's popular now, independent contractor, is popular in wrestling because it's like you're an employee but you're not. I mean, it's like you you can do something outside of your business or your employer's business, but limited to this or that. So uh Jesse Ventura was like, promoting in backstage that locker room area that he'll be heading a union. And according to the story of the documentary, Vince, Hulk Hogan ratted him out. That hey, Jesse Ventura is trying to start a union, and Vince McMahon fired Jesse Ventura for that. So he and Hulk Hogan got really massive heat. When you say you have heat in pro wrestling parlance, it means you have people hate you. A lot of people hate you. So Vince fired Jesse Ventura. Was the start of like sexual allegations between like some of WWF's or Vince's lieutenants in terms of executives uh, harassing like a ring boy, a referee, I believe a pro wrestler as well. But so legal wise, a lot of things happen. A lot of things happened during that time. Executives were fired. Pat Patterson was one of those people that was highlighted as one who were, sexually abusing people. But that's the thing. Pat Patterson back then, or right, even back then, he's telling people within the business that he's gay and he's openly gay. What he's doing. But although he acts like a man, he is gay. He likes men better than women. So, but the thing, Pat Patterson was actually uh relieved or was like deemed or found innocent of those sexual allegations, which is for Vince was a good thing. But the thing is, they battled it. So that's where actually snowballed of Vince's heat within the wrestling business. Also at the time, WrestleMania 3 was broadcast on the Pontiac Silver Dome at Pontiac, Michigan, which housed like 90, in between 90 to 95,000 people. And one of the magazines I've read, or during this time, even in documentary, they said that 93,173 that was housed for attendance for WrestleMania 3. And I believe one of the magazines I owned, Hogan said, or even in book, Hulk Hogan's book, he said that before that, the Rolling Stones got a little bit a higher audience than them, but the Pope back then, Pope John Paul II, I believe, also like had a mass there, but only for like 83,000 people. So 93,000. Believe Rolling Stones had like 98 at the time, but people are still disputing is it really 93 or not? And this is actually the high decade long debate of what's really the highest, attendance paid or attendance made for program or wrestling program. AEW is claiming that they have it for 82,000. WWE said they had for 93,000 for WrestleMania 3, 101,000 people for WrestleMania 32. But here's the thing, in my observation, WWE could be lying for that. AEW could be saying, yeah, they claim that 82,000 people paid for Wembley Stadium last year for All In. But according to London, one of the London government group there, only 72,000 people, went to turnstile. So they're like turning the turnstile, they're counting. It's like the clicker from the guard. If you're going to a mall or the department store, if you see like you enter to a supermarket or department store, guards will have a clicker, so they will deem of how many people went to the store. So it's same or say, technically same or similar with how watching a concert, going to arenas, watching wrestling, basketball. When you go to the turnstile, there'll be they'll be actually showing how many numbers, and according to them, for AEW right now, they claim 82,000 paid, which is true, but only 72,000 was in attendance. So 10,000 people said, "Nah, we're not going to watch it for the heck of it." They just wasted money for 10,000 people wasted money for nothing. So for WWE, a certain dirt sheet writer said that it's not really 93,000, it's only 78 because one of Vince's executive told him that. Who knows? Nobody knows the truth. He said it's 73. But here's the thing, it could be 93,000 for attendance in full. Why? You can include backstage helpers, production assistants, the truck drivers, everyone who's working in the arena, and you can add it them there. So everyone is in attendance for that. So whatever whichever it is, it's really impressive at the time that whether it's 78,000, 78,000, 93,000 people watch a wrestling program for one night for 3 hours or so. It's still impressive at the time. And this was actually the start of Vince McMahon making wrestling better or hotter than ever in terms of mainstream media. That even athletes, actors, actresses are wants to be involved in the wrestling business. Um, Then afterwards, episode three, screw job. So for screw job, it happened a lot for this episode. The first screw job that Vince did was for or did was Wendy Richter, a former women's champion. I believe at the time he's trying to be bigger. She wanted more money, I believe. Um, but that's the thing. Vince didn't see something in her, and they screwed her. So he had the late great Hall of Famer Fabulous Moolah wearing a mask. He pinned Wendy Richter. Referee counted like a fast count, 1, 2, 3. But the thing is, I believe at the time Wendy was supposed to go over or win the match, but they screwed her over, and afterwards she got fired by Vince McMahon. So that's Vince McMahon's first screw job that happened inside the ring. Uh, then a lot of things happened also for that. Um, so this was the time this episode for Screwjob happened during the time that the federal government uh, was accusing or had a witch hunt for Vince McMahon that he is selling steroids to wrestlers, but he was found innocent by the grand jury because he wasn't. Although he admitted he used some, he admitted that it's like saying something that how can I say it? For my understanding of the episode, it was the time that Vince said, "I hope that you can work harder than this person or that person." And steroids, of course, people are saying steroids like gives you energy. That's why it's performance enhancing drugs, PED. It gives you certain level of energy to work hard, whether bodybuilding, how fast you run, how jump high you run. It gives you that level of enhancement. But Vince never sold or give steroids to a wrestler. Even he just hoped that that's what he said in the episode, that he hoped that you can work harder. And in the mindset of a wrestler, okay, I have to do performance enhancing drugs. That was actually sold by a registered doctor at the time to them. So Vince was found innocent, and the doctor was found guilty. This was the time that Vince and Hulk Hogan were having a fallout. Vince think that Hulk Hogan's best days as a pro wrestler is dwindling down, so he's looking for new talents. One of those talents was Ultimate Warrior, who Vince had also an issue with, until he went like, what's the next step of the generation? What's the evolution of the pro wrestling business? And that's when he saw Bret Hart as probably that future of you know WWF. So Hulk Hogan left. He was part of the prosecution because they thought the prosecution will, which they had Hulk Hogan in on their witness list, that he's the one to bring Vince McMahon down because they're at the time they were best of friends. But Hulk Hogan told the truth. Vince never told me to do steroids. Never once gave me a steroid or to anyone. He was honest. But he was honest as well of using them. But he lied to like one of the talk show in the US at the time, Arsenio Hall. The Hall that they said he said that he didn't use, he's not using, but he did because he admitted in the grand jury that he used steroids at the time. But with full conviction, he told the jury that no, I'm Vince never gave me a steroid. So that's it. Vince was found innocent, and that's the time that his mind was more on protecting himself from that side of his life than running WWF. He was still running WWF, but his main focus of his was all about defending himself. So at the time, that's when Hulk Hogan left. Hulk Hogan went to WCW. Hulk Hogan, well, actually WCW at the time, which is managed by Eric Bischoff, managed to raid WWE or WWF's talent or main event talent like Hulk Hogan, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mean Gene Okerlund, Macho Man Randy Savage, and a lot of main event caliber wrestlers at the time. So that's similar with what's happening right now with WWE and AEW. So that's the time that Vince decided to bring more or to promote more talents, younger talents. He promoted Razor Ramon, Scott Hall, rest in peace, and Kevin Nash Diesel. So he promoted him. Razor Ramon was like four-time intercontinental champion. Diesel was like a WWE champion for 1 year. Bret Hart was showcased as a talent. Shawn Michaels was showcased as a talent. So Undertaker was still there as a constant top performer. Yokozuna was there. So those are the time that it's called the New Generation era, which we'll be talking about in detail some other time when we are going to talk about WWE's era, different eras, and that's what happened. Uh, this was also the time that Vince McMahon wasn't really keen or high on giving guaranteed money. He's more on a handshake deal and say that okay, here's what you'll be getting, here's what you're not be getting. But that's the thing. At the time, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall were like, we want more, and he can't give him that because of business being down. This was also the time that I believe he owes people a lot of money, banks even. According to some historians, that even like water coolers are being repossessed because they're renting it or they're like just renting or leasing it. Business was really really down. So he had to let Scott Hall and Kevin Nash go. Kevin Nash, as I told you guys yesterday, if you saw the show, wow, they are part of a group called the Click with Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Sean Waltman, and the two of them. Uh, so at the time, around May 1996, they have a show in Madison Square Garden, and I believe was Shawn Michaels and Triple H. All of their ideas. It's four of them. They were like, "What if we go to the ring after the main event and say goodbye to the audience, like a curtain call, because you guys are leaving." And this was kayfabe, or protecting the secrets of the pro wrestling business was still in effect, or was unwritten in stone. So I believe they went to Vince McMahon, and Vince told them that if it's it's important to you, then it's important to me. So he let them do that. So Triple H, after the main event, I believe at the time Triple H fought Razor Ramon in a one-on-one match. Triple H won. Scott Hall put him over because he's the one who's leaving. And at the main event, a steel cage match between Shawn Michaels as WWE champion versus Kevin Nash, Diesel at the time. And after the match, Shawn Michaels won. Razor Ramon came out first, hugged Shawn Michaels. Diesel was the heel, got up, hugged Shawn Michaels and Scott Hall. Triple H came out, and Triple H was a heel at the time. He was the Greenwich Blue Blood at the time, and fans were like shocked at the arena, Madison Square Garden, it's MSG. They were like shocked, like what's happening, and they were like saying goodbye, hugging each other, group hugging, and that's when all things fall out. Most of the people, the old traditional people, hated the click at the time because you're exposing the business that were protected for so long. But at that time, it's like Vincent's also mindset. Vince's mindset is like, I think we need to move on past that because people are getting smarter as well. That wrestling is not real, or in the sense of the word, real. So that's when everything happened. Bret Hart at the time was about to sign. Um, he was actually negotiating between WWE and WCW. He's out of contract for WWE at the time, and WCW is also eager to bring him to their company and you know work for them. I believe he was offered 3 million per year, which is at the time a huge amount of money. Even now, it's still a huge amount of money. But for a wrestler, 3 million is 3 million. And Vince McMahon actually offered him a different deal. We'll pay you like 20 million for 20 years, I believe. That 5 years will be paying you a million and a half. Then afterwards, yada yada yada. It's all in Bret Hitman Hart's book. And so 3 million for 3 years or per year for so it's 9 million. Like which is Brett's gonna choose. And Brett chose as a loyalty to Vince to work for WWE or re-sign with them. So Vince did that, and there's a lot of loopholes in that contract that Vince know because Vince is, like I said, a smart businessman to every sense of the word, and that he can get out of the contract whenever he wants. So Bret Hitman Hart chose that, and the rest, as they say, is history for the screw job, which again we will talk probably before Survivor Series of this year, before November 30th, in depth. So at the time, Vince, asked Bret for a lot of things. He wanted to turn Bret heel because Shawn Michaels was a top babyface. Stone Cold, Steve Austin, during that brilliant WrestleMania 13 match, submission match between him and Bret the Hitman Hart, with that incredible double turn, Bret Hart turned heel. Stone Cold Steve Austin became a full blown babyface or anti-hero babyface. And that's the start of the U.S. Canadian War for them because Bret Hart is Canadian. He founded or created Hart Foundation as a group, and until the thing that happened in Montreal with that screw job of the time. Like I said, for the screw job, we will discuss this in depth about the history of the Montreal screw job before Survivor Series of this year. But that's the thing. Right now we're clocking on 39 minutes for the first three episodes only. I talked a lot for that. I'm like, Well, okay. So here's what we're going to do. The other half of the Mr. McMahon review will take place, or we go. Let's do this next Wednesday or Friday. No, that's either Monday or Friday next week for the last three parts. So right now, I'm going to talk another topic. I don't think I can do the last one, so will this be a two topic episode? But the last topic, which is stricken tips for BPO, as I said yesterday, I'll try to post like a minute or two videos on my TikTok page for Pop and Wrestling Podcast on TikTok. That's going to give you in depth, not really in depth, but basic or fundamentals of how to ace an interview, what type of campaign or accounts that's will suit you, how you can do things, how you can build confidence level. Those are type of things. So that's actually the third topic, but yeah, let's forego that. That's it. Let's move on. So next topic is influencers question mark. So influencers right now, people like this in the World Wide Web, the media, social media. It's really growing. I'm not saying I want to be. For me, I'm a content creator now because this is my content. Everything wrestling, pop culture, life in general. This is my content. This is my thing. This is my stuff. I don't want to do acting vlogs or doing this or that. Right now, influencers are in massive microscope because a lot of things are doing things for content only. Whether a couple of maybe a year ago, they did like a fake kidnapping that got that influencer arrested. Why are you doing that? I mean, what's the point? To get more views, to get more clout. Like I said, for me, I'm happy because yesterday's podcast was the most viewed. I had 21, but I'm happy, and that's fine. I'm not expecting a million viewers like Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm not as good looking. I'm not as rich. I'm not as good as in football or soccer. But that this is fine with me. Like I said, I want to treat this as a job, and that's what I'm doing. I'm still here. People tend to like, oh, I only got 5 viewers in my day in on day one. Then they'll stop on day two, and you still see I'm episode six, and I'm still here, and that's okay for me. That's okay with me. So some of the influencers are good for me. They are good influence. I could go and shout out to Kong TV because he's an entertaining fellow as well as he's group. He's the typical Filipino. He's the typical Filipino friend, brother, husband, father, son. He makes jokes, he cracks jokes, and right now he's leaving his popularity with his social media, especially after one TV network here in the Philippines shut down last 2020. That that's when he grew most of his audience as well because like they're only watching like one or two TV networks now, and with Kong TV, the advent of YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're doing a lot of good content, and they're funny. They're funny as hell. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. Not really huge that I'm buying their clothing, but shout out Kong TV. Hope you can watch this and give this kid, although I'm older than you, a shout out. Um, I like Kong TV because, like I said, he's the typical Filipino. Even Vic Soto likes him as far as content creation, and because he makes sense. He's like funny. They're making fun of each other, making fun of things. They're not. That's when I said told you guys of don't take life too seriously. Be serious at what you do, but don't take life seriously. Life is too short, and he's the type of person who do that. Like they will do like a content or a vlog of making fun of things, making funny things or whatnot. Then at the end of the vlog or the content, he'll be talking seriously. It's like acting, or it is acting. There was yeah, kidnapping, and now influencers are filing their COC's certificate of candidacy to run for councilor, mayor, whatever position. just because there are so-called influencers. What are you influencing your people to? One influencer selling, beauty products, and he or she is expecting a lot of, people will vote for her. I don't know. Who knows, right? But that's the thing. If you're influence people for the, a correct mindset. So there's this one vlogger as well who interviewed another content creator, and that content creator in his comment really pisses me or really pissed me off. He made the content or he made a comment of, I'm going to speak in Tagalog. Kung wala kang pera, okay lang. Pwede ka maging masaya, which is fine, which makes sense in a way. Money is not everything. If you ask me, money is the least important thing in the world. But when I say it's the least important, it's still important because you need money to buy food, needs, wants, whatever. So he is correct. Tama siya. Hindi kahit wala kang pera dapat maging masaya ka. But that's the thing. He's saying that right now when he is massively rich. For in my mind, it's like how dare you say that when a lot of people who are, messaging him in comment section on his vlog or content saying sana matulungan niyo po kami, bigyan niyo po kami ng tulong, and he's like ignoring them. And most of his content back then, his content, that person's content was, funny. They're brothers. You can guess who. I just don't want to say the name because, I don't want to get slandered and to file for slander or whatnot. But I'm just saying my opinion. It's like how dare you speak of, okay lang maging masaya kahit walang pera when you have it now. I would understand right now. I'm not rich. I haven't eaten yet. No, I took my breakfast. I'm not rich. You can see in the background. I don't have a good background. I just, have my own shit. Sorry, I'm going to say shit. I have my own personal shit, but I'm still providing for my kids, for my wife, for my family. I'm helping them out. I'm a paycheck to paycheck guy as a freelancer, as a business analyst or a financial analyst. That's what I'm still doing right now. I'm just doing this for fun. If this gets monetized, that's great. That would help me. But if this doesn't, then that's fine. For me, what I'm doing right now, folks, and we will talk about mental health issue maybe next week as well. This helps me a lot on my mental health because yes, I can talk to my wife, I can talk to my mom, I can talk to my sister or people much older, my friends. But that's the thing. There are things that I cannot really say to them because I'm a your typical man. I try to box my feelings or my emotions, for myself that I don't need to tell or say to anyone else. As much as I can, boxed it out, keep the key, lock it up, throw the key. I would do that. But me doing this podcast, doing this vlog, it's cathartic for me. It's like even if like I have one problem and I'm doing this, I'm forgetting that problem. I'll go back to the problem with a new solution afterwards. If I cannot find a solution at the time or right now, if I have a problem, cannot find a solution, and I'm doing this, I'm forgetting the problem. Then afterwards, being relaxed and doing this, it's cathartic. I'm helping you guys out. So we're here, and like I said, how dare that person say that? You know, why are you doing this, or why are you saying this? It's 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 irrelevant. Don't say it. You have money. When he said there was a time that they were just like eating salt and whatnot. His mom was a teacher, or is a teacher. His dad was a counselor. How are you saying that you're eating asin or salt for with rice? So be a better influencer. Be a better person to those people because they are looking up to you. So that's my take about influencers. I guess we will talk or dwell with them another time. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching, listening on my YouTube page, Pop and Wrestling Podcast. Tomorrow will be off, but Sunday probably will be on. Thank you guys, and you have a great day.